Congratulations on your career,
Thank you.
Aaron. Firstly, when did you come to this decision? Was it recent, or have you been playing on your mind for a bit?
I've been thinking about it for a little bit, but the other day I had a good chat with the coach Andrew McDonald after the Zimbabwe series before we got here, and he wanted me to keep taking a bit of time and make sure that I was making the right decision. And yeah, when was it? I decided the other day that next game would be my last.
Did you think when you started your career it would be up here in Far North Queensland?
Oh, you're happy playing one game. I think I got after my second game I got dropped. I played against Sri Lanka at the MCG, and then second game at Adelaide Oval, and a few of the test guys came back into the one-day side. So you don't know if you're going to play a third game. So to be able to play 145 is pretty special. I'm very comfortable with that.
What was the thinking behind or the conversation and the thinking behind deciding to step away from one days and continuing to play 2020?
Well, I think still being a bit over 12 months out from the 50 over World Cup, I thought the timing was right now. I could have tried to play another series, the series against England post World Cup, and that would have been a bit of a fairy tale finishing at the MCG. But I think that's never been my style, to be self-indulgent in any kind of way. So I think it's important that whoever takes over the captaincy from now, whoever opens the batting from now, is given the best opportunity to take the team forward and win the World Cup in 2023. I'm very comfortable and very confident that I wouldn't have made it that far, just with my body and everything, as well as a bit of form as well. That probably plays into it a bit, but I think at the end of the day, to give as much space to a new leader to start to form the team the way that they want to play, and they want to lead the team, I think that's really important. So 3 extra games and a few more series is important to do that.
So given your form a very early start, difficult start to the season, how do you feel about taking that form into a 2020? I don't know, you've got 7 games or 8 games coming up before the 2020 World Cup, continuing to play 2020. Does that perform going into the shorter format play in your mind?
No, it doesn't at all. I think my T20 form has been pretty good for a little while now. Totally different format, so I'm really comfortable that I'm still playing well. I just haven't got as many runs as I would have liked in this format of the game. So yeah, there's no issues from my end in that regard.
What's the difference between the two for you?
In terms of my personal game, there's not a huge amount of difference, but I think even over the last little while, my numbers in T20 have been reasonably good, and ODIs haven't. So I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's a bit of intent. Maybe it's a little bit of risk taking that sometimes you get away with that in T20 cricket, and it seems to flow on. But yeah, I'm not bothered by that one bit.
Do you feel done a little bit with the way the season started up here? The pitches have been a bit slow, they've been doing a bit, it's been hard to sort of find a rhythm, particularly given coming off a knee injury?
No, not really. I think it's been the same for both sides. I think you're faced with challenges, particularly in 50 over cricket. I think the ability to play different styles of game and different tempos of game is really important in 50 over cricket. So yeah, I've got no regrets about anything like that.
And how much has that knee injury played into sort of your decision, given that obviously you've had a bit of difficulty sort of getting things moving?
Yeah, my knee's feeling pretty good at the moment. I haven't had too many issues with that over the last little while. My shoulder's giving me a little bit of grief throwing at the moment, so it's just a lot of rehab, and 50 overs is a damn long time out there. So as you get older, the anti-inflams wear off a bit quicker and the painkillers wear off a bit quicker, so you end up a bit stiff and sore and by the end of a game. But all in all, I'm very comfortable.
And who would you like to see replace you as captain of this team?
Oh, I don't. Well, it's not my decision. I think that's something that Andrew and Bales will sit down and, I suppose, map out over the next little while. There's quite a little bit of time until the next series, which is post T20 World Cup. So I think there's plenty of time for them to work through that.
Do you see yourself continuing past the T20 World Cup, Aaron?
Yeah, I'd like to. I think being able to spend a little bit more time at home and with Amy and Esther, watching her grow up as well, I think is important. So I think my family sacrificed a lot for me to be able to do what I've done and what I've loved doing. So it's probably my turn to repay the favour a little bit.
When you look back on your ODI career, what are the standout moments that you're most proud of?
Oh, there's been a lot of them actually. Obviously, the 2015 World Cup is the pinnacle of one-day cricket. So to win that on home soil at the MCG, that was really special. I think coming back from 2-0 down against India in India, I think the first team to ever do that, to win 3-2. That was something that was so huge for our group at the time because it was obviously a little transition phase. It was in the lead up to the 50-over World Cup in England, and we hadn't been in great form. So for us to go there and have our backs against the wall and win 3-2 was really special. And then we took that on to beat Pakistan 5-0 and started off the World Cup really well too. So that's something that really stands out in my mind of being a special series. I mean, debuting at the MCG against Sri Lanka, I think I only got 16, but it was something that you dream of to play at the MCG as a Victorian, but also to debut there. It was really special, and I think never taking anything like that for granted, I think is really important. And yeah, I'm really proud of what I've achieved.
How does this affect you going into the T20 World Cup next month, Aaron? Do you feel like it's a bit of a weight off your shoulders, or how do you feel?
Oh, I don't know if it's a weight off my shoulders. I think it's because there's not a huge amount of one-day cricket coming up anyway, so it's just is what it is. I mean, I still feel really confident in my game. I still feel really confident with the squad that we've got going forward for the India series, England and West Indies series, and then to the World Cup. So I think it'll be a really exciting time, and to have that World Cup in Australia again is going to be really special, trying to defend that.
Just to clarify, when you said you'd like to continue 2020, you'd like to continue playing 2020 internationals as well as Big Bash and other...
Well, I'm playing Big Bash after the T20 World Cup for the Renegades, and whatever happens after that, I'll probably reassess again after the Big Bash, with it being quite a big chunk of time after that, and then there'll be a decent break before anything else. So that'll give me a chance to sit down and reassess where everything's at and make decisions on where I'm at then.
Yeah. Do you think that this is the Googling? Do you think that Steve Smith's sort of background with Sandpaper Gate should have any bearing on whether or not he's considered for captaincy, given it was 4 years ago?
No, I don't think so. I think he captained a Test match in Adelaide, yeah, after Pat was out with COVID. So I think that's all been put to bed.
What about workload from, say Paddy Cummins as captain of Test, and can you see a fast bowler being able to do two forms given workload, or is it pretty hard these days?
Oh, I think it's pretty hard, but I think if anyone can manage it, it'll be Pat. He's an unbelievably resilient person. He's shown brilliant leadership of the Test group, and I've loved working with him as while he's been in that role as well, and vice captain a few times. So he takes everything in his stride. He's got all the tools to do that. But whichever way they go, which I've absolutely got no idea. It'll be for the betterment of the team, no doubt.
What's been the response of your playing group since you made that decision up here?
Yeah, I told him after the game the other night. It was quite cool actually. There was Maxie was in tears. That was quite funny. But no, there was a lot of love I felt that I felt there. So yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, I don't usually get emotional. I maybe did slightly, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
All right, we might jump over to Zoom there, guys. So Andrew McGlashan.
Thanks, Cole. Hey, Aaron, congratulations on the career. And when Owen Morgan retired recently, he said he sort of woke up one morning and had a feeling that it was the time. Is that how it played out for you, or was it more gradual realisation that this was the call to make? Yeah,
I'd thought about it in the lead up to the Zimbabwe series. I wasn't a thing where I woke up in the morning and just knew, but I knew it was very close to coming to the end, and yeah, I think it was just a natural thing with I think, especially as captain of the side, I think that you need to be able to give the new captain as much space and as much time to start to ingrain that way that they want to play and take the team forward. So for me, it was, I suppose the decision was sort of overnight, but the decision I came to was probably over a couple of weeks of thinking about it and mulling it over.
We saw in the game a couple of nights ago, defending a low total against New Zealand, tactics in the field are very important. Is that a part of the game that's given you almost as much satisfaction and pride as scoring the runs when you're able to engineer wins from those sort of situations?
Oh, 100%. I think that's a part of the game I love, the intricacies of the captaincy and decisions that you make out on the ground. So that's one thing I've been really proud of. Sometimes you make mistakes out there, and we've been lucky enough to have a very, very good side that can cover up some of the decisions that I make that mightn't be right at the time. But yeah, there's also times when you walk off and you can be really proud of some move that you pulled, or just watching people grow as players as well, and giving them different roles and responsibilities and seeing them grow into them roles, I think is really special as well, and something that I'll look back on in time and I guess be really proud of when you continue to see guys performing in international cricket and feel as though you might have been a very small part of allowing them to grow into that role.
Cheers, Aaron.
Benny.
G'day, Aaron. Congratulations on a great career.
Thanks, mate.
Mate, I just was wondering, like, how difficult have you found the last week or so? So I guess struggling with your form, but separating that from the fact that your T20 form this year has been good. But yeah, just to kind of have gone through what you've gone through the last week and a half with the T20 World Cup around the corner.
Yeah, it's obviously not ideal when you're not getting runs, and when you're leading the team, you want to lead from the front and you want to make sure that you're always leading by example with the bat, I guess. And I've had full support from the players and coaches, so I've never felt any extra pressure in that regard. It's more internal pressure that you put on yourself to perform and do your job as well as you can. And it was just, I don't read any of the media or anything, so I don't know what was written or what people were saying. So it doesn't, nothing like that affected me. But yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, it would have been great to get a few more runs, but I think the fact that we've won the series here now against a world-class New Zealand side, I think that's really special as well. So that's a credit to the whole group, how they've gone about it, how we've defended a modest total in the last game, and for the team to just continue to grow. I think we were 8 for 120, somewhere around there the other day, and to still get to 200 was really impressive. So yeah, I haven't felt any extra pressure personally.
And mate, you just spoke in the previous answer about you're proud of the way that you've captained the team since you came on. I know the bowlers had to do their bit the other night, but you played a key role in sort of marshalling things the other night, and going into a T20 World Cup, do you feel that your captaincy and the way that you sort of know your bowlers and the tactics is can be a really key factor for your team?
Yeah, I think it can be. To be able to have a really similar playing group and bowling group, I think for the last couple of years has been really important in that, because you get to know them so well as people and as players, so you can understand when to turn to them, what you need to say to them sometimes, and a few of them just need no direction at all, really. Like when you got Josh Hazlewood at the top of his mark, you know what you're going to get. Paddy Cummins, Starkey, you know what you're going to get day in, day out. And I suppose to see the rise of Zamps over the last couple of years has been something that I've been really proud of as well. And Ash Agar, I mean, he got to number 1 in the world as a spinner, which was super impressive to see them two grow into the roles that they've played over the last couple of years for Australia has been one of my biggest satisfactions, I suppose, because it can always... Spinners have got a really difficult job, especially in 50 over cricket when they're bowling with 4 out, T20 cricket when guys are looking to smack you on some pretty flat wickets at times. So to watch them guys grow into the players that they are has been super, and I've loved every bit of that.
All right.
Thanks, Cole. Congratulations, Aaron.
Thanks, mate.
Speaking about yourself, like how much has Aaron Finch, the person, grown ever since you took over the captaincy, and now that you're finishing off tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, some guys will say that I'm a bit grumpy out there, which I am at times on the field, but that's understandable. I think over the last couple of years, I think I've probably got a lot calmer with my emotions and everything on the field. I think there's just reading the game, loving the game, analysing it, preparing for games, I think is something that I love doing from the tactical side of it. So when you put so much work in behind the scenes, I think at times it can look like that you're potentially pulling a couple of moves out there, but you've already talked about it and spoken about it with the coach and other players. So I'd say I've just been calmer. I've enjoyed the ride every step of the way. There's been nothing that I would change about it. Obviously, maybe a few DRS reviews over my time. I've been shocking at that, but all in all, it's been fun.
And just one more about does this kind of, you spoke about your T20 form having been pretty good over the last couple of years, but does this also kind of just free you up for the T20 World Cup as captain and as batter?
Oh, I think potentially it will maybe give me a little bit more time away from cricket. I mean, at times as a captain, you tend to be always thinking forward and making sure that you're planning as much as you can in the short term and the medium and long term as for the team as well. So it means that Andrew McDonald will probably get less phone calls over the next little while. But I mean, it's something that I love doing. It's something that I think to be able to focus solely on the World Cup, which I would have done anyway. So it doesn't change much in that regard. So it's all going to be pretty cool.
Thank you.
Scott Bailey.
Congrats, Aaron. Hey, mate, just wondering, I guess obviously you can't speak for everyone else, but do you sort of feel like there is a bit of a change in regard coming white ball cricket for Australia? Obviously, there are a few guys with similar shades to you, and does it sort of put a bit more emphasis on a home World Cup as far as T20 stuff goes next month, given you guys won a home World Cup in 2015 in one-day format?
I don't think it puts any extra pressure on, because the pressure when you play for Australia is there regardless of what format or who you're playing. From yourself, the pressure you put on yourself to perform, it's always there. So there's no extra pressure. I think defending the title is pressure in itself as well, and doing it on home soil will be really good fun. We've had a pretty good record over the last couple of years in T20s at home. So I think all in all, we've still got a really good show, really good chance. A few things need to go your way in a tournament style structure, but it's all to look forward to and get excited about. I don't think that there needs to be too much talk about the changing the guard, I guess, because I mean, if you look at Davey, how fit he is, he can play for another 4 or 5 years, no doubt, in whatever format he feels like he wants to play. Maxi's similar. He's getting fitter and fitter as he's getting older. So I think there's plenty of guys. Smudge is someone who keeps taking his game to a new level in all formats and keeps improving. So, I mean, in that regard, I don't think that there's necessarily a clock on it, because there'll be so many opportunities coming up, and these guys are so good, such good players that they can keep playing for a long time.
Dan.
Thanks, mate. And just one more, sorry. Where do you think the one-day format's competitive in the next sort of 5 to 10 years? Like, I know it's something you've taken a lot of pride in, and like you really care about one-day cricket, but it seems like there's less fixtures going forward. Obviously, it's more centres around World Cups now. Where do you see it going forward? Oh,
I think come next year, once this World Cup is done, the T20 World Cup, then there'll be a huge emphasis on one-day cricket again, I think. So it just goes in cycles. Like I think Andrew said it a couple of weeks ago, where T20 internationals were in the gun before the last World Cup, and now everyone talks about them, and one-day cricket's the one that needs to change. And when the 50 over World Cup's coming up, something else will be the issue, and then Test cricket. So I think it's just a merry-go-round. I think the the format itself is really strong. The fact that there's probably not as many fixtures in the near future, I think, is probably because there's so much World Cup focus down the track. So I think as that becomes closer, I think the format will have no issues whatsoever.
Dan.
Congratulations, Aaron.
Thanks, mate.
Just in terms of the team's legacy post sandpaper, do you feel like and the way Australian cricket is being viewed, do you feel like you've played a key role in that, and are you proud of, I suppose, turning the narrative of Australian cricket around to an extent?
Oh, I think there's a lot of people that have done a lot of hard work to ensure that Australian cricket's in a better place. I'm really proud and happy with the job that I've done, leading 2 formats of the team, to be able to do that as well. So that's certainly not. It's not just me. I can tell you that there's been so many people that have done some great work, and I think the way that we all play over the 3 formats, I think it's exciting to watch. It's always attacking and aggressive. So yeah, I think cricket's in a pretty good space now.
That's the last one on Zoom, guys. Any more from the floor before we wrap up?
Yeah, just want to ask one more. Do you feel like you're sort of the first or the most obvious sort of new age cricketer, in that you struggled to establish yourself as a first class player, but you've got an opportunity in white ball cricket, and you've excelled in white ball cricket and had a terrific international career as a result? Is that fair?
Maybe it's fair. I think that's probably the way that it's going at times a little bit now. I think that there's so much content worldwide that guys can find the ability to play top level cricket without necessarily having to be locked into the state system all the time. So I think that it just comes down to whatever suits the individual at the time, and it's not going to be a one size fits all for a lot of players. So I think as long as we can keep being flexible with that and understanding the differences in people's priorities and games and what suits them most. But yeah, there's so much cricket to be played worldwide for a lot of people. So I think it's a good thing that there's different exposures to different conditions and leagues and the opportunity for guys to learn how to be international players, I guess, like an international signing for an overseas franchise, because that pressure's tough. But I think that can help accelerate and help, I suppose, make playing international cricket a little bit more seamless, because you've already been exposed to pressures like that before.